I would start this game by organizing that our oil paintings and our watercolor paintings.
Okay.
So our oil paintings are GHI and our watercolor paintings are PRS.
Okay.
And then since we have 4 weeks, I would put oil on top and watercolor on the bottom.
Okay.
And then no painting can be shown in 2 consecutive weeks. I would just draw that by like X, X. No.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So gold cannot. Yeah. So this would just be like G cannot be shown in the so GP, and then we draw a box around it, and we draw an X through it.
Yeah. So I would draw this one actually like different than mine because it would be, and this is just minor detail, but GP, because of how I have it set up, I have the oil on
Right.
top and P on the bottom.
Got it.
Where this one I drew this way because I'm talking about the same variable.
I see. Okay, that makes
Minor
perfect
detail.
sense. Yep, that makes perfect sense.
And when I think about this rule though, how I would draw this positively is then who could G be with?
Do what now?
Who could G be with then?
G can only be with H or O, or I'm sorry, H or I.
No.
Yes, because you can't show G consecutively.
No, sorry. I meant in this rule number 2, if G cannot be with P, who else could be shown the same week as G?
Only R or S.
Perfect. So I would just make a note of that just to think about it positively, what that means.
Got it. That's another thing they said is they want to convert negative rules into positive rules.
Right, because it's easier for our brain recognizes them quicker.
All right, H must be shown in any week that S is shown. Okay, so we would do H, S, and those two are going to be in a box together.
Okay, so this one is a little bit different because this is saying if S is shown, then we must have H. But couldn't we have H without S?
Yes, we could.
So that's where that, like, these don't have to go together. It's just if S, then we have to have H.
Okay. All right. H cannot be shown earlier than the 3rd week unless IBEX is shown in the 1st week. Well, that's a very complicated rule. I do not know how to draw that.
Okay, so think about it simply. So if H is shown earlier than the 3rd week, so if H is in 1 or 2, what does that mean? Well, actually, that wouldn't be. Well, I guess what I'm saying is, okay, yeah, this would happen. So if H is shown in the 1st or 2nd week, what does that mean?
IBEX has to be 1.
Yes.
Has to be in the 1st week.
Which, these are the same type of painting. So really, if H, it's not if H is in 1, it's if H is in 2. And then if H is not in 1, I mean, if I is not in 1,
then H can't be in 2.
H cannot be in 1 or 2, yeah, which we already know, but.
Okay.
All right, so how would you go from here?
So here I'm going to look at the first question and start eliminating answers based on the rules that I have.
Yes. Are you going to do worlds first, or do you want to do the first question first?
I
don't think it really matters, to be honest.
I'd probably do the question first then.
Okay. I've never really had someone jump into the first question, but I really don't think it matters.
Okay. All right, which of the following could be the schedule of the paintings shown in the 4 weeks listed in order from the 1st week to the 4th? Interesting. Oh, no, that makes sense. Okay, so so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can eliminate any with the first answer. So if we have, wait, would that make sense?
I start with the first rule and go through all 5 answer choices. So
Okay.
no painting can be shown in 2 consecutive weeks.
Right. So we have GR, HS, IP, GR, that's good. GRIS, HP, GR, I think that's good. IP, GR, HS, GR, IP, HS, GP, HR, that's good. IP, HS, there it is, Handbach, we can eliminate E.
Awesome.
So then do you just go to rule 2?
Yep.
All right. We can't have gold any week in which P is shown. Okay. A is fine. B's fine. C's fine. D's out.
Awesome.
H must be shown in any week in which S is shown. So A's good. B's out, I think.
Yep.
C. Wait, what was the rule? H is an S. Yeah, C's good as well. Okay. Rule 4. If H is second, I has to be first. A is out. The answer is C.
Awesome.
Yeah, that kind of like translation of 4 was extremely helpful. All right, so now I would, hold on, let me check my little thingy here.
So now if you want to do worlds, I would do worlds. And that means is, do we want to create 2 different scenarios of what's happening? What
Yes.
I would probably do is do one where even if it's just quick and not filling it out all the way, I would do one where I is in one and one where I is not. And so if I is not, it has to be G.
How the heck did you arrive at that conclusion?
Because it can't be H. Because H can only be in 1 or 2 if I is in 1. And our only options for the oil painting is G, H, or O.
Got it. Okay, so we're going to do 2 worlds.
I'm actually going to do 3.
One of the things that confused me about the LSAT demon guy is he says that when you're doing worlds, you're supposed to be looking for. I couldn't tell if he wants you to look for worlds based on the most constrained variable, or you make your worlds based on a variable that's mostly constrained but not completely constrained. Like, which one is it?
I would say mostly constrained, unless there's one that like you know exactly where it goes. Then obviously you do the second most constrained, because if H is in 1, you're not going to do it based on H in 1 because there's 1 world.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, no, not mostly constrained, but you do the one that typically the mostly constrained is the one that you could figure the most out by. But the goal of the world is obviously to figure the most out, right? Like, which one of these could I figure the most out if I knew where this one went? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's ultimately the goal, and typically that happens by the most constrained. The reason that I decided to do a third world really quickly is because if I is in 1, our option is that H could be in 2, correct?
Yes.
But we also could have one where I is in 1, potentially, and H is not in 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who would it be then?
It would be in 3 or 4.
Right, but who would be in 2 in world 2?
Oh, G.
G, excellent, because if the I and I can't be next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then in world 3, who has to be second?
I don't know. I'm completely blanking here.
All right, who are our options for oil paintings?
It's H and I. And if
Yep.
H is in 2, then I is in 1, so it has to be I.
Excellent. So this is what I know right now. I'm trying to think, do we know anything else? I don't really think that we do, other than whenever S is used, H has to be used.
It has to immediately follow.
Yeah, which we could have more. So here we would know that one of these is at least S. Can't have two in a row. I don't think we really know anything other than this has to be RS. So I would go on to the questions from here. But I think
Okay.
even though we don't have a ton filled out, I think what we do have filled out will be extremely helpful.
Okay.
And so now we go into the if questions first.
Yep. All right. So if S is in the second week, so in this case, we just drop S in.
Right.
Oh, wait, actually, I can do that.
But I actually just saw something. If S is shown, that means that H is shown, correct?
Yes.
So
Hold on.
you can,
Hold on. H must be shown in any week in which S is shown. Does that go both ways?
no, it's a one-way arrow. So just if not S, it cannot be. So H could be with someone other than S, potentially, but S can only be with H.
Right. So we're not going to use world 1 here.
You could, but hold on. I just thought of something even more significant than that.
Okay.
I just saw this. So do you see who did we say G could be? This is why it's so important. Who did we say G could be with?
In our R or S.
But can G be with S after we learn rule 3?
I mean, I obviously know what answer you're fishing for, but I don't understand why that answer is the case.
Because if we have S, that means we have to have H.
Mm-hmm.
So G cannot be with S. Because if it was S, it wouldn't be G, it would be H. So for example, if we happen to put S here, that would mean H would go here.
Mm-hmm.
If we put S here, it would be H. Wherever we put S, H has to follow.
Okay.
So because of that, a different way of saying this rule is the negative version of this rule of S has to be with H is G and I cannot be with S. Do you see that?
No, I do not.
Because if we have S, who do we have to have?
H.
H. So who can S not be with?
Anything other than H.
Right, so that would be G and I.
Sure.
Right here. The reason that this is important is we made the deduction earlier that G cannot be with P. Well, if G cannot be with S, then who does G have to be with?
It has to be with R every time.
Every time. That's huge.
That is really huge.
Okay, sorry. I just saw that and I wanted to point it out.
Okay. So question 12 is if S is shown in the second week. So we can put S in there. Yeah, so this world is the only one we can work with, I think, right?
Yep.
Okay. If S is shown in the second week, any of the following can be shown in the third week except the answer is B.
Excellent.
All right. Oops.
And now we'll go to question 14.
If G is shown in the first week, which of the following could be true? So we're only using world 3 here. If G is in the first week, which of the following could be true? All right. So we can eliminate A immediately. Actually, I think we can go ahead and put P right here, right?
If it would work for the rest of it.
Can you get that those questions off the screen?
Oh yes, my
I
bad.
want to look at the rules for a second. Because I thought that you're still covering up one of the rules.
Oh.
There we go.
There you go.
I thought that we'd established that G and I couldn't be with S.
Correct. And if I cannot be with R because that can't be there, then yeah, that would be P.
Yeah, which means that, wait, hold on, that should allow me to eliminate another, yeah, so I can eliminate B now because we know P can't be shown in the third week.
Correct.
We also know that R can't be shown in the second week. We also know that, oh wait, is that right? Yeah.
No, I don't think that's right. The second week, yes, sorry.
And then answer choice E here, S is shown in the second week. Yeah, we can also eliminate that. So the answer is D.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, that's super smart because we can't have R2 in a row, so we can't have S. So I added the P to world 2 as well.
Oops, whoa. Hello.
Okay. And now let's do number 16.
So understanding the rules and making deductions from the rules is like twice as important as I thought it was. I was not making a significant or I wasn't making enough deductions from the rules when I was doing this last night.
No,
Right.
and that's where you go slow to get fast.
Yep. Okay. Oh wait, so I think I can add some more things in here now. So in world 1, S has to be with H.
No, because we could have S here. Because remember, it's S then H. So H could be with someone else.
Right. Okay. Oops.
Yes. But the reason, and like why can't we just put P here?
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe H is with P here. We don't know.
I see. Okay.
But we can add P to the second row, which was an awesome inference because R is in the second one, so we can't have R next to each other.
Yep. All right, so I'm doing 16 now, right?
Correct.
All right, if R is shown in both the second and fourth weeks, which of the following could be true? So this is an example of where I would have to make a separate world for this, right? For this question.
Yes, but what I would do, yes, but really here what we could do is just put the R in here, R here, R here, and R here, and see what happens.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. I forgot R was a watercolor. Okay, if R is shown in the second and fourth weeks, which of the following could be true? G could be shown in the first week. We can eliminate that. H is shown in the second week. I think that's the answer, right?
No,
it has
I don't know because
both.
we haven't figured out if the rest of this works.
Okay.
So, for example, we have to, so world 1, we have to have S somewhere. So we have to put S here, or we would have to put H here. And that wouldn't work.
So world 1 is just out entirely?
Yes.
Okay.
But in the second world, we would have to put S here because we have to use them all at least once. So then H would go here.
Because S came first.
And then this would be I or G. So we would be looking for this answer based on just world 2.
Okay, gotcha. All right, H is shown in the second week. That's not it. H is shown in the fourth week. Also not it. I is shown in the second week. That's not it. I in the fourth week. There it is.
Awesome.
Is there one after 17 or is that it?
That is it. So let's go back to
13.
Can we see it still? Okay.
Yeah. Now I have to erase that. Yeah, the pink stuff, right?
Yeah. So if I was doing the test, I would just make another one right next to it.
Okay.
Like I would draw like my worlds here in my piece of paper, and I would have this side, and I would do all my doodling to the right.
Okay.
And I wouldn't draw on my originals, so you don't have to erase.
I see. Okay.
For time's sake now, that's why I'm doing it that way.
Right. Okay, so which of the following must be false? S is shown in the first week. I think we know that's false, right? Because
Yep.
of rule 3.
Select it and move on.
Nice. All right. The schedule of the paintings shown in the 4 weeks is completely determined if which of the following is true. So this is the kind of question I have no idea how to go about solving.
Yes. So before I look at the answer choices, I take 20 seconds and I think about I look at my worlds and what would be really helpful in knowing if it happened twice. So for me, I'm thinking if S is shown twice, that
Which it can't.
What?
S can't be shown twice in any of these worlds. Oh, yes, it can. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So that's like just my prediction, but I'm thinking quickly, like, okay, what do I like? And then I go back to it. And for time's sake, I ask myself, is this worth even doing? So G is shown twice. That is a pretty loose rule. And like G, so like I don't love that because like G could be like world 2 or 3, how G could be in second or third. That's not constrained enough. I'm not going to cross it off, but I'm not going to try it.
Okay.
For time's sake. H is shown twice. Actually, I'm showing this. I would look at this. This is how I would do, but I see that there's an S. So really I would handle this differently. But say my prediction wasn't there. This is how I would go through it and ask myself, is it restrained? H is shown twice. That one I like a little bit more because if H is shown twice, it would have to be there. And could I figure the rest of it out? I know the answer is no because H can be with more than just S. But that's how I would move through them. But I would look at my answer choice. I see my prediction that S is shown twice, and I would try to make that work. So if S is shown twice, where would we have to put S?
Probably under H and then at the end.
And we would have to put H here, which would mean G would go here. G has to go with R, which leaves I with P. So that's our answer.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, that's the kind of question that I'm going to skip and leave to the end.
Of the whole test?
Probably. Well, no, at least to the end of this section.
Well, yeah, that's why. I mean, you only have one more, which is an even harder question.
17?
Yeah, but the thing is you might only have to, so for this one, I would probably, now I just know games, but before then, I probably would have tested B first. H is shown twice, and I wouldn't have been correct. But at least the second one I would have tried would have been E, which is E. So I'm saving myself. Some people just go through and do every single one of these in order, and that's way too time consuming. Start with the answer choices that are the most constrained.
Okay, that makes sense. I wouldn't want to just start sticking floaters in places. I want to find, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So that's why, like H, I probably would have tested if I wasn't so strong with conditional reasoning, where I know S is more constrained than H. But most people that are decent at games would test H first, and then they would test S, and that's still significantly faster than testing all 5.
Right. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for your help.
Do you want to do this last question?
Oh, 17. Oh, yeah, sure. Which one of the following, if substituted for the condition that gold can be shown in any week, that gold cannot be shown in any week in which P is shown, would have the same effect in determining the schedule of the painting shown in the 4 weeks? Wow. That's very hard.
But we already figured it out. Read the first answer choice.
R must be shown in any week in which gold is shown. Yeah, I don't fucking know, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, we already figured that. We already figured that out. We said our inferences. We said right now, because of that rule, G can only be with R.
Okay.
Wait, that might be too strong. R is shown. Yeah, R must be shown in any week G is shown. We've already figured that out because we said if G, you have to have R. So this would actually be our answer.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of lucky, to be honest.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, it's lucky because we made the inferences, but yes.
Right. All right. Thank you so much. That helps a ton. I'm going to keep plugging away.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Nicole.
Great. Talk to you later.